Hi guys, and welcome back to another video by George. Today we're going to continue with the quality issue discussion. So here we have the Emerson Horseman. And first problem I had was the pocket clip screw. Over here, when I first got the knife, the screw was not actually screwed properly, like all the way in. And it was on a strange angle, so what I did was I used a small Phillips screwdriver to tighten the screw there. And next thing I knew was this thing just went like the thread was broken. So I would say that's a quality issue. And the other thing is, even after that, I've tightened the screws reasonably tight. If you touch the pocket clip, it does this. So that's a quality issue. And there's another thing with the knife. So when the knife is shot, you can see this knife has two detents. So one obviously is on the locking bar on the left, and the other one you can see is on the right, where it protrudes outside. But if you shut the knife, you will soon notice that the detents don't actually fall into a hole or anything. So pay attention to the detent on the right. It goes ever so slightly into the blade, but not actually in far enough to actually detain this knife like properly. So if I shake this knife slightly, see, it just comes out. So the detent on this thing is very bad. There are many YouTubers who told me that the detent over here on the right can be adjusted if you open the knife. I will probably do that at some stage. So detent does not match the hole on the blade. That again, I think it's all a quality issue. So there's another thing that many people who own Emerson would know, is that the liners over here, you can see a lot of lines on the liners. It's fairly rough, I guess. So what happens is Emerson Knives website actually claims that the liners are stone washed, but if you really pay attention, you can see there's a stone washed mark on it. But I believe they actually run the liners on a sand belt first and then put it in a stone wash tumbler, but not for very long. So it's not long enough to actually get rid of all the lines on the liners. People say, oh, that's a quality issue and stuff, but I disagree. I think that's a design choice, and it's just their style. It's just the way they decided to operate the machines and how they want to leave the knife looking. So I think that's a design choice. It's not fit and finish. It's not quality issue at all. Next thing is when you first get Emerson knives during that time, you often find the knives are very, very, very stiff to open and close, and this knife was no exception. It's actually it's a design choice, but it's a poor one. Apparently one of the reasons why they do that is they don't want to sell the knife overseas, and they don't want the customs to think this knife is a gravity knife. But trust me, like there's many knives out there that are sold with much better smoothness, and they don't get into trouble with the customs for being a gravity knife. So I think they shouldn't have made the knife like very, very tight to open and close. I had to really adjust the pivot screw to loosen it so that eventually I could get the smoothness I have today. And then we have the Ontario Marine Raider. This knife, the main problem I had was the edge was very dull when I first got the knife. It feels like it was barely sharpened. I can't show you how dull the knife was when I got it, because I've sharpened this knife myself. You can see it's like a little bit more like polished edge and stuff. And the sharpness on this knife was I would say it's a quality issue, because for a knife like this, you want to be able to chop wood and stuff, but the sharpness was terrible back then. So it couldn't effectively chop anything. So we have the Swiss Army knife, Work Champ. if you look at the wooden saw blade, which is this one, and if you look closely, you can see it actually wobbles. It's not straight. Another way you can tell is that, notice how there's a mark here that's caused by the saw blade actually biting into that, because the saw is not actually like, it's bent. When I first got the knife, it's already bent. So hopefully you'll be able to see from here. See, it's bending like this way. It's arguably either quality issue or a fit and finish issue. It doesn't really affect its function, but it's going to actually mark up your tool. The other problem with this knife is there's actually a problem with all of the Swiss Army knives, which has this lock. So if you lock up the blade, look, there's a blade play. The steel bar you're actually operating inside there, it's actually a rectangle. And it introduces a little bit of tolerance issue. So every single one of these blades with this lock, it's going to wobble like that, blade play back and forth. It's not really a problem with quality. I think it's just a design choice that they didn't really think it was a problem, and it is not a problem really. It doesn't affect the function. The lock up, it's very strong on these knives. I've tested these; they're very strong. So, and some people probably wouldn't think that's an issue at all, because you know, only the knife collectors will probably look at blade play, you know, but other people don't actually care about that. So we're going to say that's probably none at all to some other people. So that would conclude the quality discussion with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. I'll see you next time.